In November of 2021, the Black Plasma community opened its own SMP. When I joined, my goal was to create a grand republic that operated on fair and just ideals. I sought to promote the ideas of liberty and of peace, but as you'll see, that didn't work out. Because Fadeless Banjo, one of the owners of the server, was very opposed to my ideals. As much as we tried to avoid war, eventually it would come. What you're about to watch is a saga of liberty versus tyranny. This is the story of the Black Plasma SMP. I entered the spawn area and went to find a place where I could build my house. I eventually settled on building my house right next to a river so I could get a huge supply of fish. I decided to mine out the wall of a nearby hill, which allowed me to construct a living space. I struggled to figure out how land claims worked, and then finally got the hang of it, and thus began my base. I made some basic tools, but I didn't go mining quite yet. My main goal was to acquire pigs, and then use one of the pigs to exploit a glitch. If you bring a pig down to the mines with a slab ceiling, you can actually X-ray while going forward, which allows you to find ores way easier. So I knew I should employ this strategy. However, of course, I needed a pig farm. First off, I needed a saddle, but luckily, Pixel had about 10 of them, according to Fade. Therefore, I convinced Pixel to give me a saddle, since I had barely any gear on me and he had plenty to spare. Also, he was just really nice. My next goal, of course, was to find some pigs so I could start a pig farm. Fade was generous enough to give me a few carrots, although he did do a little bit of trolling along the way. With the carrots, I ventured out to find some pigs. And I got lost. For the better part of the next half hour, I struggled to find my base. Even if I died and went back to my bed, I knew the pigs wouldn't come with me and I'd lose all my stuff. So I had to go through an arduous process of making my way home, all while having to keep the pigs' attention with the carrots. Luckily, along the way, Pixel was kind enough to give me some leads, which made my job a lot easier. It took a long while, but after ages, I finally got the pigs back to my farm and began breeding them. Around this time, another player on the server, XXDinoX, was generous enough to give me a full set of iron armor. Of course, the next thing I was gonna need was a whole lot of slabs, so I got to work on that as well. Now, I had all of the ingredients to successfully exploiting this glitch and finding an easy way to get to diamonds and iron and, anything else that I might have needed. Once I had acquired everything I needed, I decided to test out the glitch. I took one of the 3 pigs I currently had in my pen and put a saddle on it, riding through the slab ceiling, and sure enough, it worked. I proceeded to dig downwards, hoping that I could use this method to find diamonds. However, something unexpected happened. Once I reached diamond level, I actually ran into a mine shaft. In addition to looting the mine shaft and exploring, I decided to use this to my advantage and test out the glitch further. Sure enough, I managed to X-ray through, and it helped me find a lot more of the mine shaft. Bringing my pig with me, I decided to venture out further into the mine shaft system and the corresponding caves. Occasionally, I would place extra slabs, and I would use the X-ray glitch again. However, things went awry when a creeper snuck up on me and killed my pig in an explosion. Needless to say, that was a bit of an inconvenience. Now unable to use the X-ray glitch, I decided to do some normal mining for a while. I also discovered that deep into the cave system, there was land that was claimed by Fade, which meant that I shared the mineshaft with him. In the end though, we agreed that we could share the mineshaft's resources. Eventually, I ran into a cave spider dungeon. This was convenient because another player, Dibster Plays, needed some string, and I offered him a lot of string from the cave spiders. He agreed. So of course, I went after the cave spiders in the dungeon. However, they were much tougher than expected, and I almost died along the way. However, I managed to make it out alive with 15 string, which I later traded to Dibster. Even though I had lost my pig, and I did not find any diamonds, I had come back to the surface with almost 2 stacks of iron, so I felt pretty accomplished with myself. Slowly but surely, I was making progress. After getting started, I now have a goal. And that goal is to build a nation. A free nation built on fair and just principles. A nation where everyone on the SMP could come together and enjoy an era of peace. However, there was much work to be done so I could achieve this goal. So my plans for building a nation began. I would call it Fekrador, and started off as a clan, not a nation, because, I'm not that powerful yet. My intention was to ally people who live close by. This alliance will be formed on the basis of mutual trade and assistance. 2 players live nearby my base, R309 and Dibster Plays. the latter of whom I had already traded with at one point. My sights were set on forming an alliance with these two, and starting the Fekrador clan. However, it was not the first thing I did. Instead, I decided to go mining for a bit until I finally found my first diamonds. With those diamonds, I crafted a pickaxe and boots. After that, I decided, why not go on a trip to the Nether and see if I could get resources from there? It was a good plan on paper, but didn't work out too well in execution. Thankfully, there was already a community Nether portal at spawn, so I didn't have trouble getting to the Nether. However, it was once I was inside when things began to fall apart. The magma cubes in the Nether were surprisingly strong, and despite my best efforts, I died. But I wasn't giving up just yet. I decided to return to the Nether, and I got my stuff back, and I kept adventuring. This, however, turned out to be a grave mistake, as I would wander far off course. In an attempt to get some loot, I unfortunately died again, and this time, I could not recover my stuff. I had lost my diamond boots, as well as several other valuable items, including a full set of iron armor and a golden apple. This was a major loss, but I wasn't going to let it stop me. Opting to stay away from any solo missions to the Nether for now, I decided I would find some more resources in the overworld. So time went on and I gradually began to get more and more stuff. By this point, I'd collected enough diamonds for a diamond chestplate and some leggings. At this point, I learned that R309, one of my close neighbors, was going on an expedition to the Nether to get some netherite. Knowing that now would be an excellent time to ally him, I decided to offer him help with the expedition. After thinking about it, he agreed. R3 and I traveled to the Nether, and we began our expedition. R3 used beds to blow up large areas, and we found netherite that way. However, R3 did die a couple times on the journey, and I had to recover his loot for him. Eventually, I offered to trigger the beds because, well, I had some better armor, and I was less likely to die. This ended up being the right decision. Anyway, the two of us found 8 netherite, which we split evenly. By the way, when I say netherite, I'm referring to ancient debris. I made a mistake that I can't be bothered to fix, sorry. Anyway, we each had enough for 1 piece of netherite. I upgraded my chestplate, R3 upgraded his pickaxe. The two of us later agreed to ally, and with that began the Fekrador clan. My next course of action was to convince Dibster to join. His house was situated in between R3's house and my house, so to not have him in the clan would be pretty inconvenient. In addition though, another server member, XDinoX, was also interested in joining the clan, and I figured this would be fine because the more the merrier after all. Plus, Dino had given me my first set of iron armor in the first place, which was also the iron armor I lost in the Nether, so if Dino is watching, I very much apologize. Anyway, my diplomatic efforts seemed to work, and Dibster and Dino were both interested in joining a clan. Fekrador was growing. One day, I hoped it would advance from a clan to an entire nation. And better yet, when the server becomes public to non-patrons, all of my friends can join and reinforce us. Anyway, I went mining for even more resources, and finally got a complete set of diamond armor, not counting the netherite chestplate. By now, I did figure I was one of the most stacked people on the server, unfortunately, not one of the most skilled by a long shot. Around this point, I decided to design the Fekrador flag. For those who don't know, I'm Canadian with a bit of Scottish ancestry, so I decided to incorporate those elements into the flag. In the end, I crafted the banner and my shield together, and I became the first official member of the Fekrador clan. Although by practicality, R3 was also in it by now. With Dibster and Dino also set to join, the future looked bright for the Fekrador clan, and hopefully for the Republic that would rise in its place. However, things were not all well and good. There existed forces on the server which would eventually conflict with my interests. The main issue, the main roadblock, would turn out to be none other than the server owner, Fadeless Banjo, himself. See, Fade and I, we were buddies, we were good friends, we'd made YouTube collabs in the past, and I trusted him. I really did. But then, one day, I logged on to the SMP to find that a book was in my base. My base was protected by a land claim, so only someone with op powers could possibly have put that there. My worst fears were confirmed when I read the book, and saw that it was by Fadeless Banjo. The book explained to me that my base, my land that I had claimed, rightfully, was now under the occupation of the quote-unquote Fadeless Empire. I mean, what sort of guy would name an empire after himself? Seems a bit egotistical to me. I would totally not do that, trust me. Anyway, I quickly reached out to Fade on Discord to ask what was going on. He responded with a very ominous message. Now, this was bad news. If my land was apparently under the occupation of Fade's empire, I was going to have to do something about it. I was not going to stand for this. My goals, my dream, was being conflicted right in front of my very eyes. He hadn't even talked to me about this. He'd swooped in and claimed my land. I was not happy, but I also wasn't going to give up. I most certainly didn't want to start a fight with Fade or his allies, because that would be disastrous for me. But I was going to have to think of a way to get around this. I was going to have to think of a way to free my clan. As soon as I could, I got in contact with Dibster and R3, my closest allies at the time. Both of them agreed that this was pretty terrible news. The possibility of a revolution was indeed entertained. However, I decided it may not be a good idea for now. Fade was certainly more powerful than any of us, and he must have had allies of his own. So after my initial shock, I decided maybe staying on his good side for now would be the best idea. At the end of the day, I did not want war. I had always wanted peace. So unless Fade was the one to start a war, there wasn't going to be one. There was just one problem though. I didn't really have a way of resolving this conflict without, well, conflict. Fade had come into my base and claimed the land. Obviously he wasn't just going to give it up, right? But that's when an idea manifested in my head. What if I gave up the base, let him have it, and moved closer to my allies? In fact, this would be a win-win situation for the both of us. I would build a house in between R3's house and Dibster's house, which meant I would have closer connections to my allies and Fade would have the land he wanted. So at the end of the day, this seemed like the perfect idea for stopping a conflict. So I reached out to Fade on Discord, and he seemed to agree. All was well and good for the time being. I wasn't sure if all conflict had been avoided, but this was definitely progress in the right direction. Graciously, I had given Fade my old land. If he was willing to respect my clan's new territory, there would be no further problems between us. Or so I thought. Anyhow, just as I expected, tensions calmed down. And with that, I began building my new house right in between my two main allies. Soon, I finished my house, and then I moved to take all my items from my old base and move them to my new house. It took quite a while, but once I was done, I tore down everything, leaving only a mine in its place. My new base actually looked quite a lot better than the old one, so to put it simply, I was happy. And so was everyone else, it seemed. Anyway, one day, R3 told me he was going to look for a woodland mansion, for he had acquired a map, and he offered me to join him, which I agreed to. Gearing up as best we could, we ventured out for the woodland mansion. I took about 5 of my dogs with me, but sometime along the journey, they just randomly disappeared. They may have died in a creeper explosion, I honestly don't remember what happened. Nonetheless, it's still very tragic. Oh yeah, did they ever mention how I bred basically a dog army of my own? You know, just in case. You gotta have those precautions, you know what I mean? Anyhow, R3 and I adventured into the wilderness for many thousands of blocks. Unfortunately, we found no woodland mansion, but we did find a pillager outpost. After fighting with the pillagers for a little while, I had acquired a few banners and a nice crossbow. Having found nothing else, R3 and I eventually returned to spawn. I was met with an unpleasant surprise. Apparently, I had killed a pillager captain at the outpost, which meant that a raid had started at the spawn village. Not wanting to deal with this for now, I decided to hole myself up in my house and wait it out. The next day, when I logged on, the problem had already been dealt with. It was a little bit of a shame because I honestly wanted to see what I could do by myself, but oh well, I can't complain too hard. I went on a couple nether expeditions, got some XP from quartz ore, everything was going smoothly. But then, I got alerted of something. Something interesting. Not good, not bad, but just interesting. I found out that Dibster Plays, one of my best allies, had infiltrated Fade's base without even letting anyone know, including our own clan. Now, you see, Dibster posted a video of what he'd found, so thankfully, I was able to use it to see what Fade's base looked like, especially from the inside. Now, because of land claims, Dibster could not get into the base normally, so instead, he waited for one of Fade's allies, Tankbreaker, to open the door for him before dashing inside. Dibster began to explore the base. Tank ran after him, trying to inflict damage upon him, but he only had iron armor, whereas Dibster had netherite. It was hopeless. Tank could not stop Dibster. He'd already explored a good chunk of Fade's base, and when he was done, he returned to spawn. Now, I didn't know what to feel about this. On the one hand, it was helpful intel about Fade, but on the other hand, Dibster's actions were incredibly reckless. He'd gone behind my back and done this. He hadn't even informed me. Right after we were working towards a peace deal with Fade, he went and provoked him. I knew Fade wasn't happy now that he'd figured out Dibster had infiltrated his base. When Tankbreaker was online, I decided to have a little chat with him, see what I could do to compensate for what had happened. I explained that I had nothing to do with Dibster's infiltration, which was true. He said I'd have to talk to Fade. So I made a mental note of that. I would talk to Fade later. I was not going to go to war with him, not after the progress we'd made to peace. We were on the cusp of an agreement. We could have had our territory respected, and we could have respected them. While I trusted Dibster, and he was a good ally, and definitely the most stacked of us with full netherite, I was worried about him at the same time. He was becoming impulsive, he was becoming too ambitious, and I know I too was ambitious in my own right, but unlike him, I wasn't going to sacrifice the safety of myself and others, all to fight in a hopeless war. At the end of the day, I would not fight Fadeless Banjo, not unless he threatened me or my friends first. But I decided we should do something a little more official, so I wrote up a treaty named the Treaty of Spawn. I met with Fade at Spawn, and we discussed the terms of this treaty. So, before we start this meeting, I just want to let you know, I gotta talk fairly quiet. My little brother's trying to sleep.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yep. So let's keep this nice and civil, shall we?
Alright. I want to talk about some issues that have came to my attention.
Oh, yeah, issues, yeah, okay. Yeah, fire ahead.
Thing is, there's been some, I don't know, maybe some talk, some threats about my empire, which I am not happy about.
No, I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't imagine so.
I've had people infiltrate my base several times, and they're also
Several
trying
times?
Yes, several times, apparently now. The first time, someone tried to go in there and catch whatever they can. The second time, well, our defense mechanism went off, and we don't know what's done that, but we definitely know it was a player.
Yeah.
Whoever tried to get in was breaking blocks, and there's not many animals out there that can break blocks.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're thinking of Dibster Plays. I don't support his actions. I've actually openly told him not to do this, but he's still doing it, I guess, because he wants to have the thrill of adventure or something of the sort. Look, I don't want to start any conflicts. It's the last thing I want. I've always wanted peace here, between our sides. That's why I gave up my old base, just so, you could respect our new territory. And, if, he's over there inflicting damage upon you, yes, he's infiltrating your property, he shouldn't be doing that, and I'm gonna make sure it doesn't get too far. Okay, if that's what you want, because I don't want to fight you. It's the last thing I want. You understand me?
I understand that, but the problem is...
Oh crap, the rain's gone. That was really helping the eerie atmosphere. Alright, go on.
The problem is, I am building this empire not as a threat or anything like that. I'm building this empire for a thing. For something I
very descriptive.
Cannot explain in a way. The point is, I don't want people attacking my empire for no good reason.
Nobody's gonna attack you.
I'm sorry if it feels like a threat, and I don't care if nobody's going to attack me. It's been attacked, and this whole place has one rule: no griefing, no doing anything that will annoy other people. This is supposed to be a happy land, and the fact that people are infiltrating my base, it means that there's something wrong. Because
I know.
There's someone on the server trying to cause trouble.
Well, yeah, it's Dibster Plays. We've gone over this already. I'm telling you right now. I won't let it go any further. And, you know, if he does provoke you further, and you go after him, I won't be supporting him, because he brought it upon himself. Even if he's a member of the clan, we're not going to support him if he basically dooms his own life by trying to fight a war he can't win. Because that's not something I would do.
Thing is, if he does anything that annoys the people of my empire or the empire itself, I will come after him, because I have a map,
And
a
as you
layout
have every right
of a
to.
map. I have a map that pinpoints to everyone's at my base. I have a map that infiltrates everyone's location of base. I have people that give me the locations of everything. So you think you have a hidden room site
crap.
that's on my map?
Oh crap. 1984, I guess. Oh well. The point is, I'm not gonna fight any wars. Not unless you attack us first. If you attack us first, we will respond, but you don't seem like the type of person who would do that. And just to cement our agreement,
Not yet.
I wrote this treaty, and I want you to agree to it so that we can ensure peace in our time, because, again, I don't want war. So I'm going to read this aloud to you, piece by piece. Treaty of Spawn. Term 1. The Fadeless Empire and the Fekrador clan will agree to an indefinite non-aggression pact. Term 2. The Fadeless Empire's territorial claims on their side of the Spawn River will be respected. And same for us. On Term 3, the Fekrador clan's territorial claims on their side of the Spawn River will be respected, yada yada yada. Term 4, any act of aggression from one party towards the other during this period of time will be considered a violation of the treaty, yada yada yada. Term 5, I think, honestly losing count at this point. Any member of the Fekrador clan who provokes the Fadeless Empire without informing the other members will not be supported in case of a response by the Fadeless Empire, and the last rule applies for vice versa. Alright, you got all that? You're following me?
Yeah.
Alright, so, agree to this treaty and there will be no war. There will be no war if Dibster goes after you. You are free to respond however you want, and I will not get involved. That is my guarantee. Alright,
Okay, listen.
alright. You were
If
saying?
anyone, I don't care if you say, like, no one's going to do it. If anyone tries to attack me, or my empire, all the people at my empire,
Yeah, okay,
we will
I got
chase
it.
them down, and they will regret it.
Yeah, okay, I have no problem with that. I have absolutely no objection to that, because it's in the treaty. If one of us threatens you, you can hunt them, we won't support them.
I will put a bounty I will put a bounty on their head, if that's what it comes to.
Yeah, okay, I understand. That's fine by me. I'm not objecting to this whatsoever. Not in the slightest. It's, at the end of the day, it's peace. It's for peace. And I'm okay with that if it is, so.
Yeah, so good talk then.
Yep. I'll see you around. I'll see you around. And, I guess for the record, I forgive you for the, you know, the weird presentation of, owning my old base. I'll forgive you for that. Just as long as you respect our new territory. So you agree to the treaty. That's the long and short of it, right? You agree to this.
Yeah.
All right, then we have peace. Then we have peace, and that makes me very that's very good news, right? That's very good news. So
Yes.
I'll see you later. I better log off for today. And yeah, for peace, I guess. For peace. May this last a long time.
I hope so.
The long and short of it was, there would be peace between Fekrador and Fade's empire. At least, for now. I just hope that Dibster, my ally, wouldn't provoke him again. Also, around this time, Tankbreaker, one of Fade's allies, was generous enough to give me some mending books, completely for free. I've come to realize I'm critically understacked on this server. Everyone seems to have the most powerful items, and they're selling them for like $2. Ah well, I can't complain, I'm getting free help. Anyway, I put all the mending books on my armor and my pickaxe, and I began to gradually heal everything up. In an effort to heal them, though, I ended up wandering back to my old house to see if there were any ores I left behind which I could gather XP from. The mission was successful, but Fade found out. And he wasn't exactly too happy about that, because my old house was now considered part of his territory. So he met with me right outside my house, and he was not pleased. Is that Fade? Why? I saw a name tag. Oh. It's Fade. What are you doing here? What are you... Hi. What's the deal? What's the deal? Okay, you might want to deal with this, Fade. You might want to deal with that. You might want to deal with that, buddy. Let me just deal with that for you. Okay. Alright. What do you mean, what did I do? I saved your life! Bruh, I didn't know... I did not know it was your land. I didn't know until I started mining it. I was trying to get ores. What the heck? Buddy, I didn't mine near your land. I mean, I did, but I didn't know it was your land until I broke the blocks. And it was just me trying to get, like, XP so I could enchant pickaxes.
But tell me one thing.
What the heck?
How exactly did you get into that mine in the first place, though?
Because my mine led into yours. It was completely accident. Literally dating back to the first episode.
Did you mine it? Did you mine it from here?
No, it was from my old house. I was going there to get, like, ores.
And who exactly right now owns your old base?
You own my old base. I was getting ores because I need to enchant my pickaxe. It's unclaimed.
But you never asked.
Well, it's unclaimed territory. I mean, I didn't think you would care if I got a couple ores that don't really affect... Like, did you need that... Did you need the coal? I can literally give you the coal right now. I just wanted the XP. I have a full stack of coal. Just take it. You want the coal? You want the coal? You might also want some, like, anti-cough drugs.
Listen, I'm not sure if you can hear it or what, but I've been through a lot, and the last thing I need is you going through my territory.
I didn't want to do I didn't want to threaten you. Dude, you're talking to the exact wrong person right now. You're literally talking to the last person who would ever willingly violate your territory. I mean, in full. I get it. I mined on your land.
Try not to be near my empire. Right now, things are dangerous.
Look, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to do it. I just wanted the XP.
Just stay away from my territory, mate. Please do.
Luckily, though, I got him off my back. R3 was busy mining more netherite in the nether, but I hadn't really heard from Dibster lately. I really wondered what he was up to. And then it came to my attention. All of these people, they were doing far more important things than me. R3, Dibster, they were actually grinding for stuff. I was really just sitting here, accepting stuff from everyone else. I wasn't accomplishing anything. From the very start, from the beginning, my goal, it was to build a nation, a great republic that would make an impact on history, but it didn't look like that was gonna happen. Sure, I'd founded my clan, but it wasn't even organized. The members barely spoke to each other. R3 and Dibster, I don't even think they ever talked to each other. It was coming to my attention just how badly this was going. My plans weren't working out. Sure, I was deterring Fade, but what was I gonna do? I hadn't left an impact. I hadn't left any impact. With every passing second, Fade and his allies grew stronger. Just earlier, Cayenne Pepper, a great PvPer, also joined his side. And I have barely anyone with me. The only person who's fully on my side is Jake. I don't even really trust the others, not that much anyway. I wasn't building a nation. I was loosely cobbling together a group that was likely going to fall apart anyway. What was I doing? Couldn't I just join Fade's empire and be well better off? I wasn't skilled enough at the game to accomplish things on my own. I just need to have everything handed to me. That's why I got those mending books from Tank. That's why I got that iron armor from Dino. It's just, nothing was ever of my own merit. I was beginning to feel like I couldn't do this, but I had to. It was still my dream, and I could still do this. It would take a lot of hard work, but I wasn't gonna give it up. Not now, at least. Not after everything. From the very beginning, my plan had been to build a great democratic nation, and I'd started it off by forming the Fekrador clan, but I now realized I had to take it one step further, and build a republic. It was now time for the nation of Fekrador to rise. The Fekrador clan was growing apart. Seams had formed for ages, and I was beginning to grow apart from my initial allies, Dibster Plays and R309. R309 eventually decided he would form his own clan, Mundi Remor, and although it would still be allied with Fekrador, it would not be a part of it. I was beginning to feel my allies slip away, but thankfully, I still had more people to rely on. Of course, there was my brother Jake, but he didn't really come on the server much. Beyond him, I mainly had 2 friends on the server, XDinoX and the Best Bean. I knew these people would be essential in forming the nation. Bean was a big cookie person. He owned a bakery in the desert where he mass-produced cookies, and he would then distribute them to everyone. But this space wasn't just for cookies. It was for a lot of things. He was absolutely stacked, so he was definitely a good ally to have. Bean allowed me to use his resources, so I decided to build the base for Fekrador a little ways away from his. I would later access the nether roof so I could get from my place to his in a matter of moments. So, I got to work on building my country. And days later, finally, it had been complete. The Republic of Fekrador was rising on the horizon. All I needed to do was hold an election. The will of the people is a firm belief of mine. I could not instill myself as leader of my own country. I would be betraying my very principles, and we already had an empire on the server. My country was supposed to be an escape from that. So I decided I would have to hold an election and make sure the people would vote for the best candidate. There was one other ally of mine who I thought could run for president, so I asked Dino if she could compete against me in the election. She agreed. I went around giving books and quills to various server members, asking them to pick between the 2 of us. I received 5 votes in total, and on January 8th, I read aloud the results. This was the inauguration of Fekrador. I wanted to form something that was a little bit of an escape from what we already had on the server, because we had this big, huge empire from Fadeless Banjo, and he was imposing a lot of rules on people, you know? Just kind of like, you know, just authority stuff, you know, the usual. Yeah. I wanted a democracy. So we start off with Classy Plants vote. Let me read this out loud. So just to be clear, none of these could be edited after they were signed by the people who voted. I specifically made sure of that because voter fraud, kind of cringe, not gonna lie. And as official representative of the will of all trees, the Great Council has decided to vote for Posey, the Best Beans vote. Okay, so the Best Bean votes for Dino. So it's actually tied right now. It's neck and neck, 1 versus 1. So, election vote. Okay, Frixion voted for me. Okay, R3 picks Dino. So it's actually 2v2. Whose vote is this? Drax Doomer. Okay, he'll decide the election. It's either going to be me or it's going to be Dino, and I feel like we're going to have the exact same principles anyway, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the vote is, it says it's for me. You know what, just to make sure you guys know that I'm not faking this, I'm just going to give all of these to you. It appears I have won the election as president of Fekrador. Now that I have been sworn in as the first president of Fekrador, I would like to give some words to all of you. First of all, thank you for voting. Whether or not you voted for me, I do not care. Just thank you for voting and determining the future of this country that I hope that I won't say is great right now because it's just starting and I'm just not that kind of guy, but I hope with given time, given my best efforts, it will be a fantastic country that promotes the ideas of democracy and liberty and collective and individual prosperity, and of course, peace for our time. It is my honor to stand before all of you and have the power to ensure a better future for everyone on the SMP and do my part because of your votes. So I suppose what I really should be saying is thank you, everybody, for everything, and good luck to everybody, and honestly, that's about all there is to say. With that ceremony, I had been inaugurated as the first president of the Republic of Fekrador. I was overjoyed, but I knew I could not screw this up. I could not allow this power to get to my head, and I always had to act in the best interest of my people. I had to be practical, but I also had to be emotional. I had to be a great leader, because I had gotten myself to this position and I was going to have to own it. My first action as president was to visit the abode of another player, Classy Plant, and ally his faction, the Plant Republic. The Plant Republic had a very unique system of government. Apparently, the entire government was run by a council of trees, and Plant himself only served as their messenger. It was definitely weird, but you know, an ally is an ally nonetheless. Plant and I agreed that we would form a coalition and invite as many people as we could. A coalition that would stand against tyranny if the Fadeless Empire ever decided to inflict its harsh boot upon us. I hoped that Fade would never do such a thing after our agreement, but there was no way of knowing for sure. Thankfully, I seemed to be on good terms with just about everyone, so I was really happy with how things were going. I had not yet really given citizenship to anybody, and of course the country would still need to be developed, but as it was, things were going very well. I had found purpose. I was now the leader of a potentially great country, one that could rise to be a bastion of democracy on a server where there was hardly any. I was proud of what I'd created, but I knew this would not be the end of it. I knew there were going to be tougher times ahead, and I would have to work through them. For Fekrador, for my people, and for the collective good of all of the server. During the following weeks, the server was bustling with joy and activity. Everyone was getting along, going to parties, it was all great. And despite all the petty disputes in the past, I was confident that this would be the way it would be forever, or at least for a very long time. But although so many people basked in the festivities, although so many people were on good terms with each other, there was one man who seemed to be disconnected from the entire thing. One man who seemed to remain in the shadows. And ironically enough, he was the Emperor himself, Fadeless Banjo, the Emperor of the Fadeless Empire, the first faction I ever found myself opposing on the SMP. Thankfully, a while ago, the two of us had already come to a peace treaty, but I had to admit to myself, it was suspicious that he wasn't showing up for anything. Everyone else was there, and Fade was just seemingly nowhere to be seen. His Imperial servants Tankbreaker and Cayenne Pepper were there, but he himself, nowhere to be found. Although this was curious, I had to dismiss it for the time being. After all, why would Fade go after me? I was thousands of blocks from spawn, and I'd made a treaty with him. But I soon realized this would not be enough to stop him from opposing me again. A few weeks into my presidency, something happened. I was contacted by an old ally, Dibster Plays. Dibster Plays was a peculiar fellow. He lived near spawn, and he'd repeatedly broken into Fade's base, multiple times. This caused disputes between my faction and the Fadeless Empire, but thankfully, as I said, we settled those peacefully. However, Dibster's rebellious spirit was never truly quenched. He kept scheming, thinking of more creative ways to break into Fade's base. Today, he had come up with a new plan, and today, he was going to show it off to me. He'd also contacted R309, another old ally of ours. Dibster led R3 and I to a secret tunnel, which he explained to me was owned by the Fadeless Empire. How he had found this tunnel, I had no clue. Presumably, he just dug right into it. When we were in the tunnel, Dibster explained what his plan was. He said he was going to use a flame arrow and blow up a minecart with TNT right next to the base. Because of a plugin that added land claims, he could not blow up the base normally, but he thought he could use an exploit and do it that way. But I knew this was a foolish move. I knew that if Dibster did this, the Fadeless Empire would be quick to put a bounty on his head. That was what Fade had warned me about last time we talked anyway. I tried with all my might to discourage Dibster from doing such a thing, but he was taking none of it. R3 and I watched as he infiltrated the base. But just as he was about to enact his plan, Cayenne Pepper, the best PvPer on the server, and one of Fade's top soldiers, logged on. He immediately went to the base, and it wasn't long before he'd found Dibster. And what happened next was not pleasant in the slightest. Dibster was dead. Cayenne Pepper had slain him in cold blood. Pepper didn't even know what Dibster was about to do. He just saw that Dibster was in the base and thought that was enough to kill him. Dibster had not been in the right, but I was terrified of Pepper in that moment, and I had to get out of there. So R3 and I made a dash for the exit to the tunnel, but Pepper found us, and he interrogated us immediately. He knew that Dibster had brought us here. I did my best to explain to him that we had nothing to do with what Dibster had attempted, And after some talking, Kai and Pepper finally agreed to let us go, believing me. With that, R3 and I were safe. We went back into the wilderness and went our separate ways, traumatized by what we had just witnessed. The following days, a feeling of unease crept into my head. I knew that Pepper was going to tell Fade what happened. I knew that Fade was going to know R3 and I had been down there with Dibster when he tried breaking in. But I wasn't just scared for myself, and I wasn't just scared for R3. I was scared for Dibster too. There was no question that Dibster had crossed the line. What he had attempted to do was despicable, but at the same time, he'd already served his punishment. Pepper had slain him, taken away a life. He didn't deserve anything else. But I knew, deep in my head, that Fade wasn't gonna see it that way. Even if I tried to tell myself he'd be merciful. I didn't want one of my friends suffering, because despite all the things Dibster did, I still considered him a friend. And then, after days of suspense, I finally was notified by Fadeless Banjo that he wanted to talk to me. I knew then and there that Fade knew what happened, and he was not going to be happy. But I had to go. If I didn't come, I'd make him even more upset. And if anything, I just wanted Fade to see my side of the story. I wanted Fade to make sure I meant no harm to him. If he didn't hurt any of my friends anymore, I wasn't gonna hurt him. But something deep in my soul told me that there was little hope left, that he could not be reasoned with. Even so, I tried my hardest. I went to Fade's castle, and there, we spoke.
Posey, quick question. How long has it been since you've last seen me on this server?
The last time I spoke to you was, the treaty, right?
Yes, and that was quite some time ago.
It was at least a month ago, right?
About then. Yeah. And as you can see, as I've been gone, my amazing people have been helping grow the Empire in my absence.
This is an awesome looking castle. Like, Tank, he's great at building, man.
Well, if you want to show power, you've got to kind of build it, so it's one way.
I mean, it's really impressive. I could show you my base too, but you know, it sucks in comparison to this, so you wouldn't be that impressed, I don't think. Nice azalea trees, these nice medieval looking houses. It's quite fantastic. I mean, I don't even take it as a show of power. I just take it as a show of being really good at building. I just find it really impressive. That's all I'm saying. So,
well,
there are a few things I want to talk about that, there's a reason why I wanted
I want to talk to you about something first, Posey.
I go first? Because
that in my absence, there was a war that started between me and Dibster.
Oh yeah, that's actually exactly what I was gonna tell you. That is exactly what I came here to talk to you about.
Not a single thing around this server goes off without me knowing about it. You can hide it for a few days, but at some point I will know.
That's true. You will know.
And I was absent for a month, apparently. And the things that happened in my absence in a month proves what I've been wanting to do for so long.
Okay. So, could I talk for a minute? Well, let me just give you my perspective on things. So, first of all, it was 100% Dibster's fault, and he got what was coming to him. So, don't get the wrong idea. Basically, what he did was, last Tuesday, he got me and R3 to follow him to, you have a secret tunnel, right? Because he showed me your Empire's secret tunnel, and then he went down it, and he had a minecart with TNT in it, and he was gonna try to blow it up with an exploit. He was gonna try to blow up your base with an exploit, and like a flame bow that would blow up the TNT. And I was, R3 was just kind of watching, but, I was telling him, no, don't do this. This is, like, profoundly idiotic. You're just gonna get yourself killed. Like, I told him, I spoke to you a month ago, and you very explicitly said what was gonna happen if he tried anything again. And I'm like, Dibster, I am not going to protect you if he comes after you for this. Even if I wanted to, I could not. And then, he still did it. He still went ahead and tried to blow up the TNT. But at that moment, Pepper logged in, and just... I'm not gonna lie, Dibster kinda got owned. Like, Pepper went into the base, just like, completely, like, murdered him in a few seconds. And you know, that And R3 and I, we had to get out of there because we felt like we were in trouble just by being there. And then Pepper found us as we were trying to leave, and we talked to him, and we told him what happened, and he let us go because we didn't have anything to do with it. He was just trying to be a show-off to us, and yeah, so I just want to reaffirm our goodwill.
He's lost one canon life, and I want to make sure that he lose all of them.
Are you sure? I don't know, man. I feel like he got his punishment. I think I guess we could, like, maybe throw him in prison, because, I mean, he's probably gonna try again, honestly, but you can't... I feel like he already faced... I think he faced his punishment, man. He got killed. Like, he got literally killed. That's quite the punishment already. And, you know, I don't disagree with it, but I'm gonna be honest, man. We don't have to go too far with this. We don't. I feel like there's better ways of solving these problems.
And yet, I don't feel like letting him continue with the chance of even able to cause any more chaos.
Then we can, I guess, lock him up.
I want.
I don't think you need to keep killing him.
Posey.
I don't think it's necessary.
Are you saying you don't want to give me Dibster to make sure he doesn't? Because if I recall properly, you said that you weren't going to protect him.
I'm not going to, but all I'm saying is that I'm not gonna stop you from doing whatever. It's just, I feel, personally, like we don't have to keep hunting him down and killing him over and over again. That is my opinion. I am not going to stop you.
We won't be killing him over and over again. We've got something very special planned for Dibster. For something that he will never be able to be seen again afterwards.
Prison?
Oh no. The thing is, I've been busy.
This is kind of sus, I'm gonna be honest. This is really sus. What have you been busy with? Because you haven't shown up very often on the server. And I'm sorry, I don't want to come off like I'm not on your side here, because...
Posey,
yeah. I just feel
I'm giving you and the town 1 week to prepare for something.
Fade, what are you saying?
Of a war.
Look, Fade.
Posey, Pepper declared war on Dibster. But if people are going to stop us from doing whatever we need to do,
I'm not going to stop you.
Then
I'm not going to stand in your way. I'm offering an opinion. I'm saying what I would do if I was in your position. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. Okay, you can go.
But this is the thing.
You can hunt him down.
You have your opinion. Everyone else is going to have an opinion. But how about we stop people from having that opinion? How about we just have it where what I say goes?
No.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Fade, I'm letting you have this empire of yours where you want it to be, but not everyone on the server...
The second I took over your old house, the second I knew I wanted to grow, I wanted to make sure that my empire touched every corner of the town over that direction. Every corner of
I don't even live in the town. I literally live 1,000 blocks off in my new republic.
And at some point, my empire will take over that. I'm going to take over everything.
No, Fade, we're friends. We literally worked it out. We worked it out. I promised you we wouldn't go to war.
I have not done anything for an entire
I have not done anything to threaten you this entire time. You came into my base and took my territory and claimed it as my own. And you know what? I gave you that land. I gave you a chance. I literally moved, and then I moved again. I gave you every chance. I let you exist, even though everything you stand for contradicts my own ideals. Okay? I gave you all the chances. I gave you every single chance. You are not going to go to war with me. There is no purpose. There is literally no reason.
I'm not going to war to you or Dibster. We're going to war to the entire server.
Fade, why? Why though? You're fine
Because
here.
what's the point of growing power? And what's the point of trying to make sure that you lead people when they don't even want to listen, when they don't even feel like
Maybe they don't want to listen.
Should go.
Maybe don't want. Maybe don't control every aspect of their lives. Maybe they just don't. Maybe they just want to have free will, man. Maybe they just want to live. Nobody should live as puppets to other people. I'm okay with your empire existing. I am not okay with your empire taking over the entire SMP. I literally made my country so that you couldn't do that. I made my country to stand against tyranny.
How far do you live away from spawn?
I'm not gonna tell you that. I am not telling you.
Tell me. Trust me?
No, I'm not
How
trusting
far?
you. You're literally threatening to wage war on the entire SMP. Why would I trust you right now? I gave you every single possible chance, and you're still.
We will target only the spawn of the server. Everything there will be destroyed, and we will rebuild as the Fadeless Empire. And and if you tell me that you're 1,000 blocks away from spawn,
yeah, I am.
Your place will not be affected. So unless you want to leave right now, how about this? How about not in a week? How about 3 days till we attack the spawn?
Fade. Why are you doing this? I don't understand. Fade, you're fine here. This is a great place. You are literally the most stacked team on the entire server. What more could you possibly want? Everyone is happy. Do you not understand that? Everyone is happy the way it is right now. With you chilling over here.
I've got resources across the land, Posey.
We literally had a party.
Do you know how much more powerful you would feel if you had the resources of the entire world? The possibilities.
I don't care about power.
Posey.
You care about power.
Posey.
I should have known. I should have known I couldn't trust you.
I spent a month talking to someone who made me think that this was the possible way, and I did. And I can't wait to destroy everything you saw built around you, burn and fall with the people you know. Anyone who decides to listen to the Empire, they'll get to live. Their houses won't be burnt down, but in 3 days, that town will fall unless Dipster is given to me.
Fade.
So if I was you, I'd want to go to the town.
Well, there's nothing I can do. I don't have any control over who gives Dipster to you. Okay, I don't know what I can do for you.
But I know. But we both know that the people. They're different type of people, but I know that these people are not going to be so willingly, so comfortable with wanting me to just take someone and, well, doing whatever I'm going to do with them.
Fade, you are literally threatening to do a hostile takeover of not only the entire spawn, but just you're threatening everything I care about too. You said you wouldn't attack my country, but then you said you're gonna watch as everything you love burns. Fade, I won't stand for this. I will not stand for this. Dipster got his punishment. Dipster got his
punishment from Pepper, not from me.
Well, he died.
So unless I get my... I don't care that he died from the hands of Pepper. He hasn't died.
That's enough of a punishment.
He hasn't gotten his punishment from me.
He lost his loot. I mean, to be fair, it had terrible enchants anyway, but he still got his punishment. He got his punishment. I don't understand you. I don't understand why this is necessary. You know what this is, Fade? This is I pronounced it wrong. This is tyranny. This is tyranny. This is exactly...
Get out.
This is exactly...
Step out, Posey. Posey, step out.
Fade, you are not getting away with this. You are not getting away with this. I have allies. I have allies, and we are not going to let this slide.
I have Tankbreaker, the people who I could even send themselves to destroy that town.
Fade, we're not going to stand for... This is not going to work out. This is not going to work out. I do not accept this. Dipster got his punishment. Dipster got his punishment, okay? You cannot threaten to take over the entire server because of one man.
Posey,
No.
things are more corrupted in this world than you think. People are corrupted. And if
You're
I was you,
corrupt! You're the problem! God, sorry. I'm coughing. You are the problem.
Then Posey, please figure out what's going on.
What do you mean? I'll tell you what's going on. You betrayed me. I did everything to make sure we could have peace, and yet you're betraying me. You're saying you're gonna take over. You're saying you're gonna oppose everything I stand for. I do not take kindly to this. I do not take kindly to this. My goal, from the beginning, you're spitting in the face of all of it. You're spitting in the face of everything.
Goodbye, Posey.
Fade, you're not getting away with this. Fade, there is gonna be war. You are not wrong. There is gonna be war, but I am going to do everything I can to stop you. Mark my words. Mark my words, this empire will fall. Right then and there, my worst fears had been realized. Fade was not willing to back down. He was not willing to let this go. He had crossed the line, overstepped all the boundaries. He was threatening a takeover of the server if we didn't let him torture a man. This was maniacal, tyrannical, and against everything I stood for. I knew I had to fight. Even if I was outnumbered and outgeared, I was going to stand up against this. From the very beginning, I suspected that I could not trust Fade. From the very first time he went into my land and claimed it as his own. That time, I had let him off the hook. I'd let him off with a slap to the wrist. No more. This time, I was going to stand. I was going to stand and fight, and if I was going to die, then I was going to die as a martyr, as a hero. War is brewing, and it's not exactly what I wanted, but I know it's what the server needs. But before the war was set to begin, I knew I had to reach out to an old ally. And I mean an old ally. Someone who I haven't played Minecraft with in multiple years. And that person was JDC, my co-director for Rise of Brine, a series that has been cancelled for at least half a year now. JDC would stick to my side no matter what, and I needed all the help I could get. With his help, and the help of all my other friends, I would stand against Fade. War was brewing, and I was determined to come out on top. For the good of the server, for democracy, for liberty, and most of all, for the people. Interestingly enough, I had heard rumors that Fade was planning a festival at his castle, a great ceremony with plenty of visitors, but I knew this would be no normal celebration. He was planning something. He did say he would invade the entire server if we didn't let him do whatever he wanted to Dibster. I could guess what his plan was, gather the entire server in one area, and kill them all if they didn't bow down to him. I could not let this happen. There were a lot of people I cared about who were going there. The best being in JDC, for instance, two good friends of mine. And as odd as it was, even Dibster himself was attending. Fade was masking this under a sense of goodwill, but I knew better. I was not invited to the festival, but I was gonna go anyway. I was gonna sneak in, and I was gonna stop Fade once and for all. After packing up everything I needed and doing other preparations, I finally set out for the Fadeless Empire castle. I drank an invisibility potion, and I snuck inside. There was a massive gathering of people. Friends, enemies, people who I didn't really know. It didn't matter. This was supposed to be a get-together for everyone, like the party Classy Plant had hosted at one point. But unlike that, I knew this had no good intentions, so I stayed hidden, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Soon enough, Fade began saying his speech to all the people of the SMP.
Ladies and gentlemen, familiar faces are out. It's
alright, guys, that was not scuffed at all. Guys, this is lore now.
I just want to say thank you for coming, even though a lot of people couldn't. But I guess it is because the Fadeless Empire has had some issues with some people in the past. But
I wonder who. Say me personally, I would never oppose the Fadeless Empire.
The first, most powerful empire on the server, and I could have not done this without Pepper and Tank Breaker. They are one of my most loyal people ever.
I would never. I have my cords open for some reason still.
Especially what Pepper did during my 1 month absence.
Yo, murder! Pog!
Causing a little bit of issues during the to the Empire during my absence. And his name goes by Dibster Plays.
Oh, hate that guy. Hate that guy.
Dibster, yeah.
Alright. I've got
Dipster, you've
6
caused some
minutes.
interesting chaos
left.
to the Empire, and I've got to say,
I have
it's
6 or
been
so minutes
interesting,
left.
But
Why is Dibster invited here,
I
by
did
the way?
warn you that it wasn't something I'd allow. And to show everyone just how serious we are and how serious we want to make sure that people do stay in the line for what we tell them to be in.
Wait a minute. I
We
just
are
realized.
going to be executing Dibster today. Basically, if Corrupted and Lootcraft could just step aside, we could begin the execution. Because
All right.
Dipster, I know Pepper,
All right.
you know,
We're going
killed
in.
you not so long ago.
We're going in.
But that was his revenge on you for infiltrating the base. I told you that if I found out that you ever did infiltrate the Empire again, I'd get my revenge on you myself.
We're going in, boys.
Please,
I'm
Bluecraft and Corrupted, step aside.
All right.
The execution.
So you're saying that the only reason we are here today is to watch an execution?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
In a way.
That's all why we're here.
Oh boy.
Can we at least have
Yes.
snacks first?
Well.
Oh, that's the best part of any execution.
Afterwards, as a celebration, after we finally get rid of the rodent in the Empire.
Dessert does come at the end.
So,
There's only one rodent here, Fade! Turn around! Right now! Right this instant! Stop right now, Fade! Stop right now! I won't let you do this. Stop right now, I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God. Alright. Alright. Everyone! Hey, stop! We're not... Stop. Let me do my epic speech first. Stop. Okay. Fade? I have tolerated your antics long enough, man. I have tolerated your antics long enough. You are about to execute a man in front of everybody. You gathered us all here, well, not me, but all of these guys you gathered here just so they could watch you murder a man who already had his punishment, mind you, for breaking into your base. I mean, he didn't even cause any damage. He just broke in. It was basically breaking and entering, and he got killed, and that's still not enough for you. You know what,
no,
Fade?
it's
Fade.
not. If you're stepping up to me, Posey, then
Oh, that was awkward. Sorry, my bad. My bad.
I warned you
That didn't
the other
happen.
day, Posey, that if you go up against me and you stop me from destroying Dibster, then we won't be going up against just Dibster, but we will be going up against everyone in the server.
You listen to me,
Pepper and
Fade.
Tankbreaker,
You listen to me, Fade.
kill them all.
No, Fade, stop! Stop right now! Stop right now! No, enough! Alright, that's it. We're gaming. Why are my golden apples not in my inventory, not in my hotbar? Why are they not in my hotbar? Not in my hotbar. Okay. Alright. Everyone, fall back! Everyone, leave now! We're leaving.
Pepper,
We're leaving.
stay back.
Everyone, stop him!
Well,
Stop him!
We can kill
Stop
them.
him!
They're weak. We could go.
No,
We can kill
run,
them. They're
run.
weak.
Despite the surprise attack, most of us escaped the castle unharmed. However, one person did die, and her name was Kiratastic, but we had no time to mourn. She would respawn soon anyway. Right now, we had to escape. Right now, the Fadeless Empire only had 3 people on the server: Fade, Pepper, and Tankbreaker. Although we were caught off guard, there were so much more of us than there were of them. So once we had all escaped the castle, I organized all the escapees into a garrison and positioned them at spawn. This garrison consisted of such people like JDC and Bean, as well as Classy Plant and a few others. We outnumbered the Fadeless Empire at least 2 to 1, but the thing was, Cayenne Pepper was really skilled at PvP, so unfortunately, that advantage would go to their side. So far, Fade and his cronies remained at the castle, so thankfully, the garrison had time to prepare. We ran to Spielfreak, a powerful and elusive figure on the SMP, who seemed to be present for this event. Thankfully, he was not on Fade's side. He was on ours, at least for the time being. But just as Spiel was joining our garrison, the Imperial army appeared on the other side of the river. Again, we outnumbered them massively, so I gave Fade an ultimatum. If he were to leave with his troops and go back to his castle, we wouldn't threaten him anymore. But he could not take Dibster or anyone with him to torture. If he refused to agree to these terms, there would be war. There would be a battle at spawn. There would be bloodshed. And because we outnumbered them, and because we were fighting for our home to oppose tyranny, I had faith that we would win this fight. The decision was up to Fade, And of course, you'll see which choice he makes. Ultimatum, alright? I don't want violence, but I'm gonna give you an ultimatum, alright? Stop what you're doing right now, go back to your empire, stop attacking us, and we'll let you continue to have power, okay?
I'll go
And
back
exi-
with my.
No.
I'll go back to my empire once I'm going back with Dibster. I'm not going
No,
back.
no, you're going
myself
back
and
with
my
just your
pals.
people. We are not tolerating this.
I-
Fade, you don't rule us.
I've been waiting months to have a real war. I will not just back up.
Oh, well, that's gonna be
And
a
I
problem
serve
because
Fade.
that's gonna be a huge problem because we aren't retreating either.
Oh,
This is our
really?
home.
Well then.
Oh, really? You're not
Boy,
This is
retreating?
our home. This is our. Oh god, he's got pots. He's got
This
pots.
is our empire.
Drop him.
Go! 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 Hold them back! Hold the lines! Hold the lines!
He's got.
Hold the lines! Alright, alright. Alright, back up, back up. Pepper's over here. Pepper's over here. Everyone on Pepper, he's the best PvPer. Actually, you know what? I'm on tank.
Try not to stab each other.
I'm on tank. I'm gappling. I'm gappling.
You will
Oh, I'm
die.
getting hit so many times! Hold on,
Yeah,
I
You
can
will
try
feel
this.
the fury of the F. You'll feel the fury of
Get in.
Inferno.
Alright, alright, alright. Alright. Alright, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Alright.
Sorry.
Kira, why do you have no armor? Kira's just over there with nothing. Alright, alright.
I got killed
Beans,
by fireworks.
Bean, back up, back up, back up. I'm helping you. Tank! Tank! It ends today, Tank.
So corrupted.
Tank, it's over. Tank. Who's invis right now? Who's invis? Who's invis?
I am.
Luke Craft, my man! Okay, gang up on Tank, gang up on Tank. Steal his armor, steal his armor. We don't he has better armor
Get away
than
from
us.
Tank. He's just a builder.
I can't.
Well, he's attacking us!
I'm not wearing my helmet, that's awkward.
Oh god, I'm getting jumped by Pepper. Oh god. Oh god.
Tank.
Oh god. Spiel, whose
back
side
up,
are you
I
on? What is he doing? Plant, what are you doing? Plant, why do you not have your helmet?
Why is everybody OP? It's so hard to kill them.
Isn't 1.18 combat so fun, guys?
It's fantastic.
The Battle of Spawn raged on, until finally, Fade decided to call for a truce.
Everyone stop. Posey.
What?
Posey.
What?
What did you say before?
What did I say?
Something about you giving up.
You can kill me as many times.
Hang on.
you can-
Everyone stop.
No, listen. I'm saying you can kill me as many times as you want. I'm just gonna keep coming back until you're gone. Until this empire doesn't exist.
Would you?
You've proven to me that empires should
What?
not be allowed to exist on this SMP. You've proven to me that I cannot tolerate tyranny in any shape or form. So, you don't get any more chances.
What if we replace you with Dibster? What if we don't take Dibster, but we take you in instead? And we can leave everyone here at peace, even Dibster. Dibster can enjoy the rest of his time. I don't know where he is, but he can.
I don't know. He
can-
probably left in
he
the
can
chaos.
Hide.
He's-
He can
yeah, he
hide
can do
wherever
that.
he wants, and
It's,
we can take you in.
Listen, Fade. Look, I like to consider myself a noble person, so I came close to accepting this offer, but why should I trust that you'll keep your word at all? What, how can you prove to me that you're not gonna do anything to any of these other people? Because I don't trust you in the slightest right now. So, once again, I don't think I accept.
See this book in my inventory, Posey?
Oh, I see the book.
I'll give it to you, which is the most valuable thing.
Yeah, sure,
To
it's the
me
most
right
valuable
now.
thing. I believe
It
you.
is. No, it is. It's everything that I've
Okay,
ever
what's in the
thought,
book?
I've
What's
ever
in the
said.
book?
It's a journal. It's a diary, if you want to say.
What's in the
It-
book? Okay, a
It's-
diary.
It's the Fadeless.
My
It's
secrets.
the Fadeless Empire book.
And why would
Don't
I want
open it. Do not open it.
Why do you think
everyone.
this would change my
Then-
mind?
Because-
20 diamonds says it's just an empty notebook.
Why do you think I would change my mind? Because of this book. What do I need that's in this book? What could I possibly
Because it can
want?
destroy the world.
And why would I want to do that? I don't want to destroy the world. I want to save it.
I know, but I know you want to stop it. Exactly. So if I were to give you this book, you'd be able to find out how to stop me from probably ever able to destroy the world.
Well, I couldn't stop you because you'd take me into prison. Where's my leverage here? What? Where is my leverage?
We're either taking you
could just
or
go kill you all
Dipstar.
right
Is it a yes or no?
You're taking
Because
nobody. You're
just
taking no
burn
one.
this town down. We will burn.
Then we'll come back. It doesn't matter. You can kill me as many times as you want. I'm still gonna come back. Even if I have literally no armor, I'll just come back and keep punching you. I'll rekindle supplies. And eventually I'm gonna take you down. Or at least
I
I'm
would
going.
like to point out that it's
Wait.
7 against 4.
It's a 7 against 4.
Oh, really? 7 against 4?
Yeah.
Alright, how about you all attack me? Everyone attack me.
I'm
Just
getting
me.
mugged by
Come on.
phantoms. Sorry.
The phantoms are a third side. You know what? Fade. Fade. I have a deal for you. We duel in Pepper's arena, and if I win, you have to go back to your empire, and you have to stay there. And we get to decide whether or not you can do anything else after that. We will stop you if you try to do it again. But if you win, then I'll accept your deal, and I'll come with you, and you'll give me the book. Okay? 1v1.
Fade.
1v1. Don't make Pepper do it. You do it. You attack. You challenge me. Okay? 1v1,
I'll-
right?
I'll take the challenge. Sure.
Alright.
Take me
Alright.
to the arena, Pepper.
Alright, let's do this. This was it. If I did not win this duel, it would be the end of me. If Fade won, I would be in his clutches forever, quite possibly. But if I won, Fade and his army would retreat, and we would have peace once more, at least for now. This was the final fight of the Battle of Spawn. I knew it was going to be tough. I knew I would probably lose, but even if I did, I hoped Fade would respect our duel. We were lined up in the Coliseum, and once Pepper fired the shot, it was on. Oh, he's got fire aspect. Oh, I'm just getting owned. Hold on, I can use my shield. Did you bring an axe, Fade? Oh, he brought an axe. Of course he did. Of course he did. Of course he did. My frame rate is so bad. My frame rate is terrible. If I lose, I'm blaming the frame rate.
If I lose, I'm blaming the ping.
That's true. That's true. Australian ping. I have landed like 2 hits on this guy so far. It's so scuffed. Alright, Fade. Fade. Fade.
Focus, Posey.
I'm
Focus.
trying, Bean! I'm trying-
Yes!
It was over. I had lost. Honestly, it was to be expected, but it was disappointing nonetheless. The deal had been clear. I could not violate it now. I was a man of honor. So after respawning, I would go with Fade and Pepper to his castle. Once again, I only hoped that Fade would respect the deal, that he wouldn't attack Spawn again as long as he had me. Even if this was the end of me, even if he killed me over and over again, tortured me, ruined me, at least I had stood up for myself. And the idea of revolution, the idea of liberty, of freedom, of the people, it would not die with me. In fact, I would be a martyr. Perhaps this was the best possible outcome, but I would never know that, as I suspected I didn't have much time left. Fade and Pepper led me into the castle and led me to a secret area, where what I saw shocked me to my core. A dark abyss in the ground. I didn't even know how it was possible. How had they broken bedrock? It didn't make any sense to me. It was a hole right through the world. And from the looks of it, Fade and Pepper were gonna force me to jump down. And they said I couldn't respawn if I did. Well, I had some final words to say to Fade before I fell down there. I was going to ensure he would never sleep peacefully after what he'd done. Look,
Posey.
I'm done with the
after-
quips. I'm done with the quips, man. I despise you. I gave you every chance, and this is where we're at now. And I should have known from the very beginning that I could not trust you. So, I want you to know that
After this death, Posey,
you're never getting
there
peace
are
from
no,
this.
there.
You're never gonna rest
know,
easy at night
I
after
know.
this.
I'm not.
I hope you know
I
that.
I know. But I've never been able to rest easy for an entire month because of this hole. And once I push you down it,
So be it.
there will be no respawns.
You
for
won the duel. You won the
Posey.
duel. It's fair, but don't get too comfortable with your power. Just don't. Alright, do it. Do it. Do it. I have nothing left to say. Nothing left to say to you! Nothing left! No, what's happening? What's happening? What? And that was it. I was gone. At least, from that world. And for a little while. My story continues, in multiple forms. But for that, you're gonna have to wait a little longer. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, this is just a Minecraft roleplay. There's absolutely no hard feelings between anyone here. Just remember that, and thanks for watching, and of course, goodbye.